Hello, I'm Dr. Yisroel Susskind. Welcome to my podcast series, Making Marriage the Way You Want It to Be. Today we're going to be talking about how do you give in a way that brings you appreciation. Giving, expressing, and receiving appreciation are the lubricants that make the complicated machine we call marriage move smoothly. I'm going to be playing for you a clip of a lecture that I gave to an Orthodox audience in 2009. There are two drawbacks to the clip. One is the video quality is not as good as what you're seeing right now. The second is because this was done in front of an Orthodox audience, there are places where I use metaphors, religious metaphors from Hebrew and Yiddish. I believe that I have translated all of those so that someone who isn't necessarily religious, isn't multilingual, can still benefit from the video. Let's get into the video.
Couples are more successful when it is very clear to them that they allocate some of their time just to the husband and wife being good to each other. And I would divide that also, that asay tov, into two categories. One is, do you go out of your way to ease your spouse's burden? If I said to your spouse, what did your husband or what did your wife do this week that really made your life easier? Let me give you an example. This past week, we've had a lot of company in my house. My wife is a wonderful cook. She loves hachnasas orchim. And I could see that she was working very hard and she was really very tired. So at different points in the meal where there are tasks that she would normally take on, without her saying anything, I went ahead and I got them done. When we cleared the first course off the table, and given how my wife cooks, that usually means 8 to 10 salads. And they went into the kitchen on the kitchen table. I went ahead and started wrapping them up and seeing to it that they got cleared out of the kitchen and put into the refrigerator and the silverware washed off and dumped into the silverware bucket. Same thing later during the meal. The meal was over. My wife was sitting with our company over dessert. I normally would sit with the company over dessert. I decided I'm getting the kitchen taken care of, so when the meal is over, my wife's work is done. After the meal, there was a spill on the floor. I saw my wife reaching for some paper towels to clean up the spill. I took the paper towel out of her hand and I cleaned it up. There's no reason why she can't clean up a spill. She normally cleans up a spill. But I felt, I could see she was tired, and I know that she appreciated it. If I'm up late at night working on something that I'm writing, I have a deadline, and it's 1 o'clock at night, and she'll come down and bring me some fruit, a cup of coffee, just to give me a little support as I'm staying up late and working. That is one aspect of asay tov. In fact, there's a very interesting vort from the Rebbe that relates to this. The Rebbe talks in a Rashi Sicha about a place in Ha'azinu where Hashem is saying how good the Yidden were, and Rashi asks, well, what did they do? And Rashi answers, the language is something like, Kiblu et Toroso Malchuso V'olo. They accepted his Torah, they accepted his kingship, and they accepted his yoke. And the Rebbe asks, what are these three things? He says, Toraso comes from the word, Torah comes from the word to teach, hora'ah, moreh. What the Yidden accepted was the things where God taught them the reason for the law, what we would normally call mishpatim. So what's malchuso? Malchuso are the things that Hashem asked of the Jews, where he didn't give an explanation. Gezeirat hamelech, a decree from the king. They also did that. So the Rebbe says that seems to have covered everything. There were the things that Hashem asked, for which he gave a reason. There were the things that Hashem asked, for which he didn't give a reason. That's it. That covers everything. What is Olo? The Rebbe says, Olo are the things Hashem didn't even ask for. But they ran like a loyal servant. Rotz ke'eved nemon, lasot ratzon kono. They were eager to look for things that they could do that was a hidur mitzvah, wasn't demanded of them. We have the same thing in marriage. Sometimes our spouse asks us for something, it makes sense, so we do it. Sometimes they ask us for something that doesn't make sense to us, but we know it's important to them, so we do it. But what's really also important is that we anticipate what they want. And if I said to your spouse, what did your husband or wife do this week, this month, where without you even asking, without you even thinking that he would do it, they went ahead and they did it, what would your spouse's answer be?
If you would like to see more of this series on marriage, please go to YouTube and type in Susskind Marriage in the search bar. You can also get to see me doing stand-up comedy if you type in Susskind Kosher Humor. Or you can get me combining both humor and some serious material in a series called Laughing Your Way to Wisdom.